Well, it's Tuesday, and you all know what that means. Well, as you probably can guess, once again, the chaos in NXT continues. We have, of course, Nattie once again, once and for all, trying to prove her point to Jaida Parker that she is an actual softie. Then, of course, as you know, the war between Saquon and Dark State continues on. Well, he has two tag partners who volunteered to take on the Dark State, so we'll see how that plays out too. Then, of course, we're going to see a face-to-face confrontation between, of course, the NXT Women's Champion Kendall Gray and her challenger, former NXT Women's Champion Lola Vice. And then, of course, the main event we have, of course, is the NXT Championship in a no disqualification match. As you know, Naruku, who was dissatisfied the last time when he lost to Tony D'Angelo. But the real question is, will Tony D'Angelo survive with the vicious and malicious attacks from Naruku? Because we know he's always up to no good, as always. And of course, we wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates, giving you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready with another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere where wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We even, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We even, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We've, of course, got the Nike Sayaka watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers. Let's get to it. So, as I said, it's going to be our only review for today, which is NXT, so let's get started. Okay, NXT. We opened up, of course, with Mr. Stone in his office talking to Thea Hill. Apparently, Thea Hill wanted to talk to him for a couple of minutes. But, of course, Mr. Stone is a very busy man because in the entire time of this entire episode, he was, in fact, on the phone. But, however, they were interrupted by Nattie and the rest of the dungeon, of course. Once again, acting like Nattie is going to, once again, teach Jaida Parker a lesson. So we'll see how that goes out from there. Now, our first match is a six-man tag team match. We have, of course, Noam Dar and Romero Moreno teaming up with Chicon Sugars. As you know, this was something that, of course, was brought upon because they're facing against Dark State. Of course, Moreno knows that if they defeat Dark State, then they could get in a conversation for a shot of the NXT tag team belts. So I have to say they did a pretty good job. I mean, we know how cohesion both of the Dark States are. You know, they are a team. But however, Noam Dar and Moreno are trying to get their footing. But however, the much bigger threat the Dark State knows they have to deal with is Saquon. So they tried to isolate him. But it was Osiris Griffin when he double teamed with Cutler to take out Moreno, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Cyrus Griffin picked up the pinfall onto and went for his team. Now, we did see, of course, in the women's locker room, a lot of things are taking place. Well, Thea Hale, as you know, has been agitated with, of course, dealing with the dungeon to getting in her face. And, of course, Jaida Parker said that she's going to teach her once and for all that she's not soft. So everybody has their own thing going around. So that kind of plays out, too. Now, Kendall Gray made her way to the ring along with Rhett Sinclair. As you know, they will be facing each other for the NXT Women's Championship. So that pretty much going out back and forth about this and that. You know, we've always seen this type of thing several times. Now, our next match is Keanu Carver taking on Hank Walker. Now, of course, many of you saw what happened at the Great American Bash. Keanu Carver was not liking what he was hearing about, of course, EK Prosper getting a shot of the AAA Latin American Championship. But Hank and Tank were telling me, hey, he beat you fair and square. And, of course, Keanu Carver thinks that doesn't count. But he ended up going crazy and do all these crazy things to both men. But, of course, last week we did see Tank try to handle it, but it was too much. Now he's facing Tank. And, of course, the same result again. You know, Keanu Carver beat him, but however, he wanted to put more pain onto him. But Tank tried to save him. But thank God for EK Prosper, it became a 3-on-1 type of scenario. So it was a pretty impressive save. So we'll see what happens from there. Once again, the dungeon ran into Thea Hale, of course, saying some negative things about her and all this. But of course, I'm sure Thea Hale is not going to take that too kindly. Now, this is one of my favorite moments. Charlotte Hill went to Mr. Danhausen, asking him, of course, well, first he told him that he has a nice lab and all that. And of course, Danhausen said he knows that he's seen his webpage, so he was basically like a fan. And he told him that if he asked him that about the tooth and all that, so he gave him. So he didn't have actual human money, but he had cryptocurrency. But he told him, I wonder if that tooth is cursed. I don't know, but that is extremely funny. The tooth is cursed. I mean, I never heard of a tooth being cursed, to be fair, but I thought it was funny. Anyway, now, as you know, Jaida Parker and Nattie, they've been going at each other's throats for months. Nattie, as you know, is declared that Jaida Parker is soft, even though Jaida Parker never seen herself in that matter. But however, that exactly was happening. I mean, she knew exactly what she was getting herself to. But however, things got a little chaotic. Well, Jaida Parker put Nattie in a sharpshooter. But Nikita Lyons was attempting to toss the towel, but Carmen Petroy was like, no, don't do it. While the cam panned away from both ladies and they focused on Nattie and Jaida Parker, the towel was thrown, and it turned out the person who tossed it was Thea Hale, basically getting even with her for what, of course, all the negative crap that she's been getting from them. So it was more like, hey, you brought this mess to yourself. So I thought it was really funny. Now, our next match, we have Nico Vance versus Shawn Spears. Now, as you all remember, a while back, Shawn Spears was kicked out of the calling for things that happened, and that exactly was going to go on. However, we know that Izzy Dame is attempting to make sure Nico Vance wins, but Lizzie Reigns showed up and became a brawl. But however, Shawn Spears pulled an Eddie. Now, for those who are new, don't know what an Eddie means. If you guys ever followed WWE back in a few years, there was a wrestler named Eddie Guerrero who had a catchphrase that says, we lie, we cheat, and steal. Basically, they do things in order to pick up the win. For example, you use a chair and you whack the floor, the mat, and then toss the chair onto the opponent, and then they drop dead. And the referee will look at it like, you attacked them. Like, no, I didn't. So that's called an Eddie. We have seen many people that have pulled it off many times over, and that pretty much helped. And just like that, things got chaotic. So basically, I don't think Nico Vance couldn't believe it, and some people say that Shawn Spears would know that Eddie Guerrero will be proud for pulling this move. So I'm sure he would. Now, once again, of course, Mr. Stone, well, let's just say he's been on the phone, but however, Kalani Jordan once again complaining and bitching about everything, about the opportunities that she felt that she's being overlooked. She said that she kicked out right at 3, but however, Mr. Stone told her, "There's nothing I can do. The decision was already final by the time it was over, so there was no do-over on this one, because it is once the referee made that call, it's done. Nothing they can do about it." So I'm sure she's gonna take that really not well. But however, we did see, of course, Mr. Stone. Uh, Once again, as you probably can guess, what's going on. He was talking to Cam Hendricks, asking him, "When are you coming back?" So that sort of thing. And then, of course, we did see. He told Barrett. Of course, we did see Bourne and Tavion Heights got into his face once again, but they told him that if by any chance they win this singles match, they get a shot of the tag team belt. So let's see how that turns out too. Now our next match we have, of course, what's her name? Reina Volcan, who many of you may remember as Nikki Blackheart. She faces Skylar, and this match ended with a torture rack. So basically, that's how it ended with her. Now, Mr. Stone was talking to, of course, what's his name? Oh yeah, Shallow Hill, talking about Tristan Angels and all this other stuff while he was eating his popcorn chicken from KFC, and he told him, "You want him? You'll have him next week." And then of course he took all the popcorn chickens from KFC. Mr. Stone was looking forward to it. It's like someone stole his snacks, that sort of thing. Now our main event, of course, we have the NXT Championship in I think either a Street Fighter or no DQ, whatever. But anyway, it was a brutal match. Now, obviously, this is the kind of match Naruku will definitely try to win because he thinks that he's tough. No, they're not tough. They just think that they have the weapons. It will be enough for the opponent to wipe them out. That's classic MO, because this is something I have seen. For those who don't know, a couple years ago, Oedo Time members, formerly Saki Kashima, Momo Wanabe, and Starlight Kid were at war with prominence, and they're saying they're the experts of hardcore because they use weapons. No, it's not about the use of weapons. It's the pain you have to endure when it happens. And that's one of the things I think they have that misunderstands. But of course, Tony D'Angelo had to deal with a lot of shenanigans from Naruku, from what he is capable of. Of course, he tried to blind him, and then he tried to use the mist on his eyes, but luckily, Tony D'Angelo was able to block it, and then he blinded him in reverse, and then he applied the deck to rights to a table. 1, 2, 3, it was done. However, while the celebration happened, we did not expect it, but there's been talk about this for quite some time. Mike Santana makes his way, so it looks like he is now with WWE. So that is a very interesting thing. So don't know what to expect from that. So we'll see what happens. But for now, we're done with this one. Let's move on to wrap up our episode with some news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So, as you probably know, I normally do upcoming events and developments that goes on in the world of wrestling. Well, today there are no upcoming events to put out as we speak. However, we do have some developments. Let's start out, of course, we want to give a happy belated birthday to Natsupo. Many of you know that her birthday was back this past Sunday on July 19th. I think she turned to 31, so happy birthday, boy. Boy! Now, on the business, Fightful Select reports Sinner Saint, Travis Williams, and Judas Icarus have officially were released from TNA. Now, we haven't seen them for quite some time, but don't know exactly what's been going on. But recently they put on something on their social media, like talking about who these guys are and what their next step is. We don't know yet. That is still undetermined. So we'll see where that leads. Fightful Select reports also that Chik Tormenta just recently departed from AAA/WWE. This was also news. It was part of AAA even before the acquisition. Still unclear yet what she's going to do next, so we'll see about that. Excellent news. Now, many of you know I talked about Avery Styles, the son of the phenomenal one AJ Styles. Well, many may know this right about now. He's not the only one who has a dad in the wrestling business, of course. Uh, Dog Gallow's son CJ is joining MLW, so we will see him very soon in MLW. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do. Steve Maclin. Now, as you all know, recently he requested his release from TNA. Fightful Selects reveals that there's been some preliminary contact between him and AEW. Now, however, there's still no indication about any confirmed contract between them. But, however, I think they're in talks. I'm not sure yet. So we'll see where that leads us from there. Now, many of you know, recently we've been seeing many Mexican wrestlers were unable to appear in AEW. We have seen that with Commander, Beast Mortos, and not to mention Gabe Kidd, even though he was not Mexican. He's a British dude. Turns out Clon, who we haven't seen for quite some time, also was dealing with some visa issues. So there's that too. Motor City Machine Guns, as you all know, since they were released, they put out a little video about the 5 stages of grief, since they've been released, and they're like going through like contracts and all that, and the 5th one they got seems like right now. It's still unclear what that one is. Now, there are people that are saying that they're always welcome to return to TNA, but those are saying that they might end up going to AEW. We'll see if that is true or not. Reports are coming in that Sami Callihan had recently been working backstage as a producer for AEW just recently. No contract has been meant about them. Their reports are saying that this is a trial run. Now, it's no secret that both Jon Moxley and Sami Callihan are tag team partners, but we don't know exactly where that goes from there. So we'll see how that turns out. Now, finally, Tony Khan was talking about Stephen Borden. Many of you who know who he is. He is the son of Sting himself, Stephen Borden Jr. But yes, many of you know this, that he's been wrestling in dark matches. I have seen him personally when AEW was here, and he was wrestling in Ring of Honor, but during a dark match. It's not even it was not televised. But let me pull up exactly what Tony Khan said about Stephen Borden. We're training Sting's son, Stephen, right now. He wrestles before all the shows in what we call dark match. And I think he's going to make a tremendous wrestler. I'm really, really proud of the work he's doing. So it seems that things are going well for him, that he is progressing. It's still unclear. Now, the thing is this, guys, I talked about this with my brother just recently about Stephen Borden Jr. We do believe he does have the wrestling craft getting well. But I think the thing that we haven't seen yet is the character, about the kind of character he's going to be as a wrestler. And that's a very hard thing, so hopefully he'll figure it out sooner, but we don't know. I know his brother Garrett is also a wrestler. He debuted in the Rhodes Wrestling Alliance, which is Dustin Rhodes promotion / pro dojo as well. But yes, we'll see how things go from there. So as of right now, let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we probably will have AEW Dynamite, as you probably can guess, because we are now heading to Redemption this coming weekend, which is going to be insane. Also, I think we have WWE Evolve, so a lot of things is going to take place as well for that. Now, I am a bit behind with both New Japan and Stardom with their round-robin tournaments, the 5-Star Grand Prix, and the G1. Now, I'm still debating about whether to put those as special episodes, so we'll see about that. Because right now, man, this entire weather is killing me, and not to mention some things have come around. But we'll see how things are. Just praying and hope things will go my way. But if not, then it is what it is. So we'll see. As of right now, I will say this, that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.